Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cherizy E.
Thank you, Quarancy, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf references a team, or says he talked about this on the Au Jus, which didn't happen this week, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast or blames his kids for something, you drink. And if I swear or choke on my own words, you drink.
Lovely.
Also, you can make any of us shut the fuck up for 5 whole minutes for $5 whole. And you can make all of us drink for a tip of $1.08 or more. Tonight, one time only, you get 5 full minutes of non-stop My Sock Summer for the low, low price of $19.99. Beef and I will sit and quietly drink while he goes on and on and on. But speaking of drinking,
yes.
Beef Loaf, what are you drinking, my friend?
Boys, it's good to be back with you. Not like we weren't together all weekend, but we didn't do the podcast last week. I'm sure everyone in the comments missed us. All 32 of you currently there. I'm going dirty martini tonight. I need it. Okay, I'm going to get loaded tonight. I haven't had a drink since we were all together. I need to get loaded. I need to enjoy you fellas, and then I gotta stay up and watch this Sox game, and I still gotta have the energy in the morning. So the brine's gonna help your boy get his ass up tomorrow. So bless your hearts. Love dirty martinis.
Wonderful.
Bless your hearts. Hope to die.
Eating a nice salad tonight. Eating a nice blue cheese salad. My Sock Summer, what are you drinking, my friend?
So I started off tonight with some Smoke Wagon. That was my taste. That's still in there. We got a little Smoke Wagon bourbon. Yesterday was Bourbon Day in the MSS household. Every day is Bourbon Day, except sometimes Sundays. I drink seltzers. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to drink some Buffalo Trace after that. But then I forgot that I had these small batch bottles of Elijah Craig down here. So I'm going to drink those motherfuckers.
Wow, nice.
I'm going to drink this mofo. I'm going to finish this bitch off.
Okay.
And then I got the Irish Mayor Shane Spagnola sent me some fucking the Elijah Craig.
You're going to finish that one
rye.
too?
Well, I don't think I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to go to this one
pussy.
next, okay?
Get down, motherfucker.
Listen, you match me drink for drink, mister. I got to travel tomorrow, and I'm fucking in, all right? So let's do it. I mean, fuck
Tracy's flight boards in like 15 minutes, man. He can't even go to sleep before he goes on the flight tomorrow.
Chorizo.
I don't give a shit.
What are you drinking tonight?
So, as a lot of you guys
that shirt's
know,
awesome, by the way.
in the room, but as many of you might not in the comments and out there listening, is normally I drink beer because I'm hosting, and if I drink whiskey while I'm hosting, it could go off the rails quite quickly. Yep. But tonight,
You don't got to do shit.
I brought the Carnegie H. Taylor.
Nice, that's good.
And thanks to our guy Jason, that's who got me this one.
HBIC, baby. Yeah.
He looked sexy on CHGO, by the way. those calves, baby.
Ooh. I haven't watched it yet. Full disclosure, I haven't checked it out yet. I saw the picture. I got a couple of pictures, but I haven't listened to it yet. I did hear him on a very controversial draft the other day, in which he picked the same pick as a guy in the same round.
I saw that. With those calves out, Beef.
Yeah.
I can only watch it about 2 minutes at a time.
Calves
you know.
out.
Then I got
you hit the special spot.
Got to take a nap. But tonight I'm not really gonna be hosting. I'll get us to the first. I'll get us to the first.
Goodness.
To the first ad read, but after that it's Beef and My Sock Summer taking
wheels
over.
off.
They're prepping for next week when I'm off. So
That's right. Yeah. He's got the whole week off.
yeah.
That's right. MSS. We're carrying everything.
I'm off. I'm off from the podcast. I'm off from the following soak. It's gonna be fun to watch you guys do it. I'm gonna try and catch it live. We'll see how that goes.
That's going to dip into your benefits from the Sunday soak. You've missed 2 weeks in a row. Like, bro, you can't go to the doctor for like 3 weeks. So.
That's right. You need a note. That's all we can miss. You need a note from.
Yeah.
incredible.
Your insurance has lapsed. You have to resubmit.
You motherfucker.
I can't wait to walk into Lawrence's and they'll be like, we don't serve your kind.
I'm sorry, sir. We only show up with people that actually participate in the podcast, so please leave.
Sorry.
Your gift card
That's
that
true.
we gave you is no longer good here also.
Pedro was definitely done last night. He was like, I have no interest in this game. There's a Tyler's to put Treasy tossing himself out of the game like Pedro. Pedro did eject himself last night. I don't even know what he was yelling about. He was pointing into the stands.
So it came out later that they said that he wanted the challenge. And when you watch the play, assuming they synced it up right, he asked right away, and they told him, "Nah, you're out of time."
Did he raise his hand? Because you got to raise your hand?
He pointed. He did a point. Trees. Maybe that's the problem. You gotta like this, and he went like this, and it doesn't count. I don't
Remember
know.
when Aikman did like this, and was trying to call a play, and they're like, "That's a timeout, asshole! You just called a timeout."
Yes. Yeah, he missed it. He goofed it up.
Goofed it up. Goof. Should have got
He's
that
a
shit
goof.
from Bob's. And goof
Beef.
proof.
Gazoo.
Yeah.
Beef, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, boys. I wanted to bring to your attention that there's a brand new docuseries on Netflix about Arnold. That's right, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I don't know what the audience thinks about Arnold Schwarzenegger, but for us, our age, Arnold Schwarzenegger is his accomplishments are absolutely off the charts amazing in some ways because he's an immigrant from Austria. He just becomes the strongest man in the world, wins Mr. Universe a million times, 13 first places in bodybuilding championships. Then he can't speak English, but he becomes the biggest movie star possible. Marries a fucking Kennedy, and then he's the governor of California for 7 years. How the fuck does this happen? And so Netflix does a nice 3-part docuseries. If you can get over the grabbing ass and titties and stuff, and then obviously the
fucking the maid.
Well, yeah, having the baby with the maid and all that stuff, in
Yeah.
which he fesses up to all of it. He admits to all the shit, it's a little bit to me a little too late. And it even showed at the time, he kind of fessed up to some of the shit from before, the grabbing ass and all that shit, and then he flipped it and he tried to deny it when he was on the campaign trail. It's this is how you tell politics are such bullshit, because the guy is telling you his whole life, and he's like, man, he goes, and in the documentary, he's like, it doesn't matter if it was the 70s, it doesn't matter if, it was a party, whatever, all of that stuff was wrong. I should have done none of it. It's well, you are 75 now, so about time you got that out of here, that you decided that was not cool. But, a couple things really stood out to me. I enjoyed the documentary. I enjoy a lot of his movie work. He was the star of our age. They tried to do a thing in the documentary, pitting him against Sylvester Stallone. No one gives a shit about Sylvester Stallone action movies, right? We like Rocky, and then what other movie do you really like of him in? No one cares. They tried to this was a big rivalry or some shit. Really? Yeah. I'm I don't remember Sly in anything that was worthwhile. So, but two things I like coming out of it. Number one, he wanted to get his fucking hands dirty and stuff if he was doing it. If he was doing a movie, he said he laughed at other movie stars who thought they're oh, we're an artist. We don't go out and promote the movie. We don't do the sales. He's like, fuck that. I got to go out there and tell the people that they've got to go see my movie. And he wanted to get out there and touch everyone and let them know, and really wanted to be part of the process. Maybe a little too much touching. Regardless, though, I kind of like the passion of saying, look, I'm in this. Let's push it. Let's do everything we can to kind of get that out there. That was really cool. And it's kind of like the DIY mentality, right? People with the punk rock band, they're hanging up fucking flyers and shit like that. Or even people who do stuff like we do. We're out there pushing our own shit all the time as hard as we can. This was the biggest star in the world, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to all these countries. We're going to promote this movie. So I thought that was really cool for one thing. The second thing is he hated that anyone would call him a self-made man. Because he said, and he started naming off all these people who helped him along the way. He said, no one is really a self-made anything. You get favors from people. People help you out. When you're down, they take care of you and all this stuff. And I thought that was really introspective and thoughtful, and just someone who realizes this is how life really, very self-aware of him to do that. I don't know if it takes you to get till 75 to do that for some people or what. I don't really care, but it was interesting. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And for someone when you get to our age and someone has been kind of a part of your entertainment life the entire time, I think it's fun to know a little bit more behind the stories and kind of like understand who they are. And he, he let the warts out too. He said how he fucked his whole family life up, and like how he tries to still be a good father. And he gives Maria a lot of credit that they, even though they're broken apart, they still go to all the family stuff they do together. It's, basically as friends or just like as parents or whatever. So I thought it was interesting. Definitely worth the watch if you're around our age and have seen all that shit. But I really enjoyed the shit out of it.
What's your favorite Arnold, though?
Oh, the movies?
Yeah.
Oh, Running Man. Running Man, easily. Running Man's just hilarious and great, and I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, Running Man is definitely high on my list. Predator.
Predator's terrific.
Predator,
yeah. Total Recall.
Awesome.
Total Recall. Oh, man.
With the eyes, when his eyes get real big out on Mars, like that. That's way up there.
Question you guys
like that lady.
on Arnold. Arnold question. Yeah. When he 2
Yeah.
weeks.
And then the head.
The 2 weeks lady. If I'm going to give you a Terminator movie to watch, you watching T1 or T2?
Because excuse me, he switches roles. He's the bad guy in T1, and then he switches in T2. Probably T1 because it's so weird. Like, and they talk about that movie in there, and it's like he didn't want to play that character. And actually, the other character who was supposed to be Treasy, who was originally supposed to be the Terminator?
I do.
No.
O.J. Simpson.
The juice.
Oh
And
my God.
the reason why they didn't cast O.J. Simpson is, and he says
So
it in the
fake.
thing. He goes, because no one could envision him being a murderer, and they started fucking laughing during the documentary. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what is this shit?" But Arnold didn't want to take it because there's only 26 lines for the character. He's like, this is not a starring role or whatever. And of course, it became the most famous thing ever. Like, the I'll be back shit is one of his 26 lines, and it's the most famous fucking line ever in movie history. So it's just bizarre how things happen and how he's such a presence to be able to kind of make shit happen. It's unbelievable.
Predator was dope. I also
Yeah.
loved Commando. Like, I loved the movie Commando. And then that was just because me and Alyssa Milano were the same age, or she was a little older. I was like, you're still like, hey, that girl's cute. And she gets to hang out with Arnold, and there's fucking tons of grenades everywhere. That's awesome.
I can't believe you found a way to make it horny.
How could he not?
Just saying. I was the same age at that time, and it was like, hey, she's cute. I want to hold her hand. It's not like I was going to do anything. Shit. I mean, it was like, what, 10? I don't know. It was fun, man. I love that shit.
Hello.
Yeah.
MSS, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. Kind of disappointed. No one's ponying up the money to get me fucking unload Canada stories for 5 minutes straight for $20. Fucking
No one
bitches.
cares.
Yeah, apparently not. So you get one for free. Here's the first one. If you guys don't know, we were in Canada this weekend for Josh Nelson's bachelor party, and it was a good time. And we were watching the game Friday night from my room, which I'd tell you about, but no one is pointing up the money. So I was like, we were watching it, and I looked up, and the fucking split is like $375,000, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yes.
I'm like, this is Canadian money?
It's Canadian, but it's still a lot.
The
Still a lot.
exchange rate is still okay. And we're like, that's a lot of money, and it seems we need to play the 50-50 tomorrow when we go to the game, and we did. I'm
Well, in your room also, Wally pointed out, he's like, no taxes on that. And we did get that confirmed from someone who was a
Yes.
Canadian. Like, yeah, no taxes. You get that.
He's like,
you hit
you
for
get that
whatever it
straight.
is, you get all that money. There's no
Get all that
one
money.
pulling out money.
I don't know how that works coming back into America. Like, I mean, does that then like
We'd have to hide it. We'd have to smuggle that in.
that's a lot to hide. Good thing we did have Wally with us. He could have put that right in his prison wallet. All right, so without further ado, here's the ticket. I know we put it up there. All right, Gordo.
We got the-
Bless your heart, Gordo.
So we'll do the free one here. Let's do the free one first, and then we'll
got-
start the clock. Okay?
Yeah.
All right,
Yep,
so let's
let's
go
do it.
here. I have not looked at this yet. All right, so here are the 50-50s. I'm going to increase the size of this. All right. Grand prize. It's 729. I have nothing that begins with a 7, so that's
Great
okay.
start.
All right. The authentic game used base. Okay,
Oh,
let's
game
see.
use base.
Don't
And
have
that's
any.
base BASE, not BASS.
Yeah,
just
that's
to be
right.
clear.
Yeah,
That's
base.
No Getty Lee.
Yep. Nope. I'd have nothing that begins with 9.
That's not looking good for the rest of this.
Okay, so authentic, I don't have 99. Nope. Okay, so I don't get the Bo Bichette jersey. I'm not getting the World Series replica ticket frame. Nope, not happening because mine all start with 5-3. I didn't win anything.
It's looking bad.
Well, luckily that was
You didn't want the Danny Jansen jersey anyway.
$50.
You would have thrown it out.
$50
Man.
right down the fucking right.
You
in the
lost.
shitter.
You're still the loser you've always been.
I'm a loser. Actually, I've actually won the split in the States. I was hoping to go international, but not today, apparently.
Boo.
That's a bummer. And that would have been really shitty if that's how we had to end it and go right into it. But our guy Gordon, because he's the best, donated $20. I have.
You ready?
You want to put?
Yeah, let's start some stories.
Let's do it, baby.
Clock starts now.
All right, so I booked the hotel room for this adventure, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm actually booking. I booked this hotel. We arrive in Canada after a long flight with a very intoxicated Wally Money because he drank all the Bacardi in America and then got on the plane and then came with us to Canada. And Wally gives you this look when he's intoxicated. And when his one eye is just kind of like going that way, and then he smiles, and then he starts hitting you. And then you know Wally's really drunk if he smacks you. Well, me. No, he won't smack you guys. He respects you, but he doesn't respect me. So anyway, we get off the plane. We go get our shit. We ditch Wally with Aloha, Mr. Hand. We're like, Aloha, you can take care of this guy a hell of a lot more better than this. So we roll out. We roll up to the hotel. Now, mind you, like I said, I had booked the hotel. I had no idea we were staying at the hotel that was connected to the field where the Blue Jays play. We roll up in the thing. I was like, we're staying here? And the guy's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, fucking A. All right, this is sweet. So we walk in. I'm pulling behind my checked luggage, which I brought way too much stuff. Had too much stuff. Walk in there, go to check in. The woman goes to me, hey, Mr. Swirly, nice to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm checking in. I hope you're enjoying your time. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put you in a field level room. And I'm like, yeah, sounds great. Here you go. And she's like, and if you don't like the room, we can change it, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. She's like, you're on floor 3. Go over there to the elevators. You can go up to your room. I fucking go over to the elevator, go up to room 3. Everyone's like saying goodbye. And we're like, hey, we'll see each other in a little bit. We got to go, get a little bit freshened up before we go out to the first bar. And I walk up, and I'm walking. And there's rooms on the left side of the hall, and there's rooms on the right, which is normal. But the rooms on the right have like stairs going up to them. And I was like, these are pretty fancy. My room's on the right-hand side with stairs going up to it. There's only 3 rooms. And I was like, this is interesting. And I go up, and I fucking pop the door. I walk down to like a pretty long hallway, and I'm like, And then I take a left, and what do I fucking see but the goddamn field where the Blue Jays play baseball? I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, I had no idea that I was staying in this room. This is great. And this is like a big wide window, and the window's open, and you can stick your head out and you can look around. And I did that because you have to. And then I texted everybody that I know and everybody we were with and took pictures, and did not save one for this though, because whatever, you're only getting stories for $20. And most of you listen to this on audio anyway. So anyway, yeah. So we went and watched that, and that was fun. Got to see some game that day while we were getting ready, and then went out. But yeah, that's one thing. I've learned now that I don't need to pay attention to details. Just be excited. I'm like one of the dumb ones. Like dumb people are like this all the time. They forget shit, and they're just like, okay, hey, oh, look at this. This is great. This is great. It worked out perfectly. I paid attention to absolutely no details. Now, I'm going to throw in a little extra one here because we got 1:50. It's a real quick one. Now, one thing that was on the itinerary that I was like, I don't want to do this, and it fucking sounds like it's going to suck, is karaoke. And I was like, I do not want to go to karaoke with these fuckers. I don't give a shit. Josh's buddies are cool. They're awesome. They're fun. But karaoke, I was like, I don't want to do this. So anyway, we go do the karaoke. And I'm like, And we get in there, and we're liquid, man. Everyone's fucking drinking like a motherfucker, and it's great. Now, 2 things happened when we were in the little room. It's like the worst little strip club room that you could imagine. Like, imagine going to the champagne room, but with a woman that looks like Wally, but when full jeans and nice shoes and just totally intoxicated. This man is not stripping. He's just dancing like a stripper. He grabs the microphone and is holding it upside down, like with the part you're supposed to talk to, and pointing down at his feet. And he's like singing into the side of it. And like we thought it couldn't get worse, but then it did get worse because they played the song from Aladdin, and Wally jumps onto the table where all our drinks are and starts dirty dancing for Josh, which I was like, the fuck? Of course, I go out. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? This is insane. But that was fun. Those guys, I was dying laughing. I was crying. I was laughing so much and having such a good time. And listening to Mr. Hand sing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion is a top 10 moment that I've had in my life. It was the funniest fucking thing ever. And he kept yelling, fuck Jack. Or fuck Jack. He screw that guy. And then also just kept going. It was great. Did we get another tip? Or did you just land? Oh, I think we
it was just a comment.
5 minutes started over again. But yeah, no, that was just really funny. I was not expecting, and then I have high expectations for karaoke, and it was like one of the highlights of that fucking first part of that trip, like by far, if not the highlight, because we were just insane. Did not expect that.
I have video of Wally Money grinding while Aloha Mr. Hand is singing My Heart Will Go On. It is fucking wild. Like I'm like, everything about it is off-putting. It's
Very much.
You gotta put it on the YouTube. Do not just throw that on Twitter. Put that on the YouTube.
No.
You gotta,
it's definitely a
get the
YouTube
views.
short.
And
he did great on Mr. Hand did great on that. He did great also singing Boats and Hoes.
That's true.
yes.
Could not stop laughing.
So we need to talk about this for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They every song was sped up, and most of the time the words were not correct. Like
not even close.
Yeah.
what did they have up there? They had Hanukkah. Did they have Hanukkahs up there?
So yeah, there's
What was it?
it was spelled HANICA.
Yeah, like harmonica.
Close enough.
So it was just, but like the woman comes in, she's like, okay, so this is how you do it. And she's like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you got it, bye. And
Bye.
then the songs were exactly the same speed. Like it was like 1.5.
The next time we saw anybody
was
come into the
ridiculous.
room, they just brought in a bottle of Captain Morgan
Yes.
with the little spout to pour out of.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Wally just grabbed it
Deep-throated
and
it.
poured like
Down the gullet.
half of it into his mouth.
Yes.
And then handed it to us and like, here, you guys could have the rest. Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
That guy, he was on one, and it was, he turned in the middle of that because he just was like, man, this ain't my scene. I was like, what are you talking about? You were just grinding
This ain't my scene.
to the Aladdin song on a table. This is not your scene. I get it. Okay. It's like Swingers. It's like, man, this place is dead anyway. Let's go. It's like 800 people here. Cherise, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. So I was watching the Tonys the other night. The awards for like Broadway.
Yeah.
They do an in memoriam just like every other one. But what was weird was they were clapping for some of the people that showed up that were on the in memoriam, and I felt is that weird? Is that weird?
That's
to
weird.
you
Yeah.
that they would clap.
Clapping that you're dead.
Because I was like,
That's
are you
kinda weird,
cheering
yeah.
that the person's dead? And then I thought, if you're cheering just for the person, like, what a great person. Like, it's weird when you don't then. Like, you got to keep it going. Like, you can't, like, clap
Yes,
for one
either
person
or.
and then
Selectively clap?
And like, you go silent and, like, some family is watching their beloved person in their life that passed away and is on this huge thing, and it's what a tremendous moment, and it goes dead silent for them. Like,
The first four people got a round of applause.
Yeah,
Your
and then it's
person,
like-
nothing.
Oh, Jim? Fuck that guy.
That's insane.
He wasn't so good, so I.
How do you, if you're
applaud.
impartial, you're someone who doesn't really know any of these people, you just had to guess at the thing. How do you go? You're clapping along, and then when everyone stops, you just stop. Like, how do you you got to stick with it, or you got to be out completely. Like, you can't.
Right. You can't. If you don't know any of the people, you either need a steady clap the whole way,
Yeah.
or
Right.
not. The steady
So
clap
then your
is,
fucking hands,
is what Wally's had for years. But there's no like kind of in between. And then the other thing, I was like, they really got a big round of applause for Raquel Welch, and I was like, that's kind of mean.
Yeah.
kind of mean that you're really very excited about this.
I want her dead. What's wrong with you?
I would liken it, Teresi, to like a graduation. Like when some people applaud, like at the beginning, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, good job." But motherfucker, man, if you're like a T name, or like in the middle of M and N, like people are like, "Fuck, man, how many more people?" Like they're not clapping like they did with like Authority. The first round, like first part of the alphabet.
I think you're right. I think that they should have come out like at a graduation and told the audience, please hold your applause until the end for all these dead people.
They always do that at like a high school graduation. But Treasy, remember my high school graduation? There's no clapping or whatever, but then a guy went up on stage who was on like his 6th year. He was like in his 6th year, and Butch Bailey stood up and started clapping, and so the whole class got up and started clapping for the guy. He got out after the 6th year. 4 years of curriculum in 6 years, not bad. Guy finally got through. Everyone appreciated it,
Listen, don't hate.
I'm not hating. We were loving. What do you mean? We're happy for the guy.
No, it was the most appropriate one. Much. Now, you don't want to be the guy that follows that, though. I'll tell you that much. You don't want to be the guy that
that's a letdown. Big letdown.
Everybody sits down when you get up on stage.
It's like,
especially if you only took 4 years to graduate high school.
It would have been great if the next guy was some genius that only took like 2 years to graduate.
And he's like 16.
It's crickets.
Yeah. He's 12 years old, graduating high school, and you're like, I want the 20-year-old guy that just graduated high school.
Sammy Davis says, Butch Bailey, notorious the toughest dude in Bridgeport.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's my boy. I played basketball with him for many years. Love Butch. And if Butch says stand up and clap, we're getting up to clap for sure.
That's a good move.
Even if it's for some dead person you didn't really like.
And if he says stop for that next dead person, we're stopping.
I can't wait to see Butch Bailey watching the Tonys.
That's who I was watching with. MSS. Why don't you pay some bills for us, my friend?
All right, get ready. Strap it in, folks. The reviews are in. I felt that I was a Mazda. It was spooky. I hope to read more by MSS. Perhaps next time, something longer. Sob Gloop. I've always wanted to write a haiku about a Mazda. I can't believe MSS has beaten me to it. Betty Borison. Amazing how so few words can set a scene so perfectly. I close my eyes and all I can see is the sultry summertime. Hit the spoof. The juxtaposition of Mazda and ballpark is truly inspired. The Daily Tale. Mazda. A haiku by MSS. Sultry summertime. A new little Mazda zooms by the ballpark. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom. Zoom.
A+. That was wonderful. I was not expecting.
I don't know what just happened. I'm glad I was not prepared for that.
You know what that was, Treasy? That right there was art. Right,
that was
a
haiku. I'm so happy you didn't tell us about that, because if you would have told us about that, I would have been prepared for it. Like, I saw the thing go up, I was like, did he put the wrong thing up?
You're like, where's the music at?
Right. Well,
can't all be jazzy tunes, Trees. You got to switch it up a little bit.
Quick note. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the AI whatever, and be like, hey, write me a Mazda ad read, and they don't do that, or at least the ones I found. I couldn't find one. So I was like, well, this is bogus. And I was like, oh, hey, I can have the computer write me a haiku. So they're like, here, give us like 5 words. And I was like, isn't that what a haiku is? And basically it was. So it popped that out, and I was like, this is great. And it also came with free reviews. So I was like, oh, fuck. I gotta put these reviews up. These are great reviews of my poem. And so I thought I'd include it all. But yeah, go buy a fucking Mazda. And thanks to Jerry who also got a free hat and a free polo shirt in our last order because he bought a Mazda. So getting one of the best cars available in the U.S. market isn't enough alone, you also get all the clothing that we produced this year. So or in koozies. So yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Guys, I think it's time for some White Sox talk.
Boom.
Let's do it.
Jesus.
Beef, I'm going to kick it to you. It's all yours now.
Yes. Let's do it, boys. I have questions for you guys. I just want to ask questions. I'm just gonna blare it out there like I like to do, My first question for you, there's a guy who's been in the news with the White Sox quite a bit. A lot of opinions out there about him. Ton of arguing on White Sox Twitter yesterday. And look, I don't care who's a big fan of adultery, who hates adultery. I don't give a shit about all that. All right, we're not interested in any of that. But I got a question for you guys about Tim Anderson. Okay. At what amount of families will White Sox Twitter stop caring about his personal life? And I'm going to give you three choices. Oscar De La Hoya amount of families, Sean Kemp amount of families, or Nick Cannon amount of families. Treasy, what level of amount of families will everyone just like, they won't even care about whatever Tim is. They're just going to worry about what he's doing on the field and not any of his other stuff.
I mean, I don't think his groin will hold up on the field if he gets to the Nick Cannon level.
Oh my God, that guy's like the J-Mac of having.
I was watching something and then like you know how like you're not paying attention and it rolls over to like the next show and it was like some show I didn't even know what it was, but Nick Cannon was hosting it and he's like, today we're honoring fathers, something I know a lot about. I'm like, you're joking about this on TV now? Holy shit!
That's
I guess. I mean, that's just his thing. Yeah, I don't know, and it's weird too because like this is something that was funny, hanging out with a bunch of different people over the weekend because we usually hang out with mostly White Sox fans, you know, and we're hanging out with guys who are fans of all kinds of different teams and different sports, and it feels like when we would bring up something about this, you know, something about this would come up. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this guy on my team that I root for is, you know, it's like this." Like Fernando Tatis came up like immediately.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, he's got at least
like
2-3
5
families.
kids."
Yes, people were saying 4 or 5, right?
Right
at once going,
yeah. And like, who else knows what that dude's up to? You know, like he's
riding motorcycles,
right? Getting suspended for PEDs. Like he's got a whole lot going on, and like I feel like that maybe this is just all the teams have this guy, which is strange. It's, you know, in terms of total population, it doesn't seem like 1 in 30 should be, or 1 in 26 should be in this realm. So
we don't know the math. That's what it is. We don't got the data, Teresi. That's the problem with this.
I mean,
you know?
I
know WRC plus. I don't know how many little is going on. I can't tell you. You know,
I can say I know. I have about 15, 20 friends that I'm close enough with to know that they don't have a second family. So these numbers seem high. They seem out of whack.
Outliers. These are outliers for you.
You know, I'm like always this.
But like,
go ahead.
Just to finish my thought here.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought you were done.
It's just
Very
like this seems like so common that like I don't know that it's actually a thing in on these teams, like that they even give a fuck about it, or that they like, or that, to put it a different way, I don't see how it would affect performance because it seems like so commonplace in this sport, right? That like right. I don't get why there would be any correlation between this and performance, and that makes me just not really care. Like, so I think right. I don't know what level it's gonna get to that like fans will stop caring, but like it just it doesn't move the
you
needle
already
for me
don't
because,
care.
Yeah, because like I do not attach any of Timmy's performance to this, because I look at Timmy and I say what's happened over the past few years. Well, his BABIP's gone down, and like I think a lot of people point to luckiness with that, but it's not. We knew why Timmy's BABIP was high. He was hitting the ball really hard, and he was running really fast. The play last night that Kershaw threw him out on, Timmy 2 years ago does not get thrown out on that play.
Right, he beats it.
And so and then you see his ISO's going down too. So the power is regressing. So it's like this is just a man's his body is not doing what it used to be able to do.
It's not responding.
And so I don't think that's because he fucked a little bit extra this year. Like I mean, like he
you don't think it's the boxer theory with the tired legs?
A long time. It's been going on a long time.
Teresa, I wrote a blog about the correlation, kind of like the running backs, they die out young, and then sometimes the the athletic baseball players, they kind of hit a wall. The enough injuries pile up, and you can't do it anymore. You know,
Sammy, this is a very stupid comment. His struggles do, however, trace back exactly to the start of the situation. No, they trace back to when you fucking first heard about it.
When you know.
When people were willing to talk about it because he wasn't doing well. So, like, it's not that correlated. He's been fucking for a long time.
So,
Like, it's
I did see somebody bring up like the Tiger Woods example, like when Tiger Woods like got caught, like having his 87 whores that he was fucking, and then all of a sudden doesn't have him anymore, and his performance went right into the shitter too, and so I don't know, like maybe like getting strange is like what keeps you motivated to keep playing well. I don't know. Maybe get some Instagram stickers up. I don't know.
It sounds insane, MSS, but you might be right. It might be like, yeah, you're living this wild ass life, and when you can't live that wild life no more, some of your edge is gone. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how these. I don't know psychologically how athletes work. Okay, I'm an accountant.
The one thing that I think is the situation that is the most disturbing is how much some people seem to care and seem to put so much stock into the fact that him making a commitment to somebody, potentially, we don't even really know what their relationship is built upon, and now it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he would do this, or to defend this person as it's right or it's wrong on either side of the case. Like, I've seen it in both ways. It's like, well, his wife accepts him, so you should accept him. Or think that because somebody wants to trade Tim Anderson now or get rid of Tim Anderson and receive something from him is now, is racist or whatever, as opposed to the performance-based idea of, hey, this guy's really not cutting it right now. If we can get something for him, and we're gonna schlep this whole team, let's fucking get something for him. So I don't know. And then I've also seen this whole goofy ass, well, he did really good in the World Baseball Classic. Well, all these fucking shit was still going on then. It was just a small sample size. Like he was amped, he was rested, and he played well. And then he came in here and he got his fucking
good players around him too.
Yes.
And then Hanser Alberto broke him again. Glad they kept him. You know what? It's nice they kept him around instead of Jake Berger, so he could break Timmy, and then he leaves.
And I think Tyler, you're not wrong. And Tyler says that people forget. It's totally cool to admit you don't know what's going on and not to form an opinion. And like that's right. Like you can base this on his performance alone and say, okay, I don't want him on my team. Or you can say, hey, I'd like to give this guy a chance. I really like who he is, and what he's done in the past, and maybe he'll bounce back. Which is 100%, it could happen. Like he could be better, going down the road if he gets healthier or if he's, I don't know. I mean,
well, I think that's
somebody new. Who knows?
MSS, that's a good question though. Like, is it a health issue? Like, is it like he's banged up, or like he's there's something wrong with his groin, his legs, his knees, something like that, where if he gets healthy, he could return to that? Or is it just that he peaked physically and now he's starting to decline, and even just a minor decline for him is caused him to miss a lot more, because that half step at first is that important, and right? That half step getting to first base, that little extra bit on the line drive, like those types of things. Like you see it with catchers more. Like that's where you would see a regression like this happen faster, where it's like they just like suddenly get much slower, or they suddenly just like their knees or back aren't cooperating with them, and it's just never going to get better. Like they've blown those things out. Just like, just like Grandal, you see getting slower and slower and slower, but like. So,
Tim's right. Certain parts of it. He said there's obviously nothing wrong with his grind. Well, it depends on the part of the grind. The one that makes you is fine. The one that was running, not as good, because Treacy's right. Like, he didn't beat that ball out to Kershaw. It's like Kershaw's 35 years old, all right, and he somehow made a play on Tim like that. Like something in the body's not right. I want to get back to Tyler's comment real quick before we move on. Tyler, that was a salient comment that MSS followed up on, and I love both your thoughts. But fuck that. I want everyone to form an opinion on everything, because that's what makes Twitter go around, okay? I don't care if your opinion's wrong or dumb or whatever. Fucking go with it, all right? That's why I'm on Twitter. If no one has an opinion about it, well, I'm going to be bored to tears. Give me a fucking opinion, God damn it.
Man. I understand.
This is the last thing on Tim, because we're moving on. We're moving on.
Let's move on.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just going to say, like, it just seen a lot of, like, just, like, weird shit like with all that, and it's just people defending him and people this, and then seeing a certain person defend him for something that he lambasted, another player for, like, hey, he should be focused on his game. Like he should be doing this. When we had a Giolito struggling, like, oh, he's cleaning up, garbage on beach. Maybe Tim should have been at Driveline a couple weeks longer instead of doing whatever. But no, we don't do that. No, man, he's good. He's solid. So I just it kind of irks me, and I have to restrain myself from commenting on
no
Twitter
free promotion for them other shows.
I just don't want to do it. I don't want to go on there and get involved in something that, like, there's no winner. It's just a dumb thing. Like, I made the comment, hey, like, you shouldn't blame Pedro for this fucking shit, and it's like, oh, you just fucking hate Tony. No, I don't hate Tony. Like, I didn't even fucking talk about
Bring
Tony.
that back up.
What the fuck? Get the fuck out. All right, go ahead. Let's move.
All right, we're moving on, but my father says that people stop worrying about other people's genitals, the world will be better. He's like, pretty sure Gandhi or Mother Teresa said that. Look, we're all interested in who everyone else is fucking. There's no question about it. That has always been the case. It always will be the case on the internet. All right, next question here for you guys.
Hold on.
What?
Sammy Davis Jr. goes, last home run, 5/8/22. Instagram post 6/15/22. Well, yeah, that's like a month apart. And the post is after. How did he get bad in May?
If it was psychological, you would occasionally see
I don't think it's
the glimpses of greatness. You'd see some home runs or some stuff.
Yeah.
If it's physical, you're not going to be able to do the output. I mean, this is the point I was trying to make in the thing.
He's never going to do that.
That's why I love Sam.
I love it.
Damn well.
Bless your heart, Sam. I wish I could tip $5 to him for posting that.
I'm nervous now. He's going to fart on me in the stands this time.
Yes.
You don't want to take this fight to Twitter.
I don't have that kind of time. I got to be on a plane in 20 minutes.
I could fart on you here. There, that's from Sammy. You get that.
Thanks, Yum.
Yum.
Cheers. He says, here's a real $20 bill to go along with the fake ones MSS had his kids copy. Yes, that's what I thought that tweet was. Fuck you, MSS, for revealing 3 hours later, oh, it wasn't my kids. I want to kick you in the nuts right now for that. I was so mad when I saw that. I'm like, are you shitting me? I thought it was your kids making big stacks of 20s. I thought they were going to try to pass them off in the neighborhood, man. Buy Italian ice or some shit.
Again, like, I'm going to take my kids to the fucking public library and show them how to fucking make fake money.
You're cheap.
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious.
What the fuck?
I'm thrifty. There was these kids there that this roll in, and like the funny thing was, like, man, we're going to take this down to Pizza Nova and get us some food. And then the security guard was like, let me have a talk with you real quick. And one of the pictures that the kid printed off, there was a band across the 20.
Close enough.
And so it's like, it's supposed to be a stack, sir. It's not supposed to be a single. You can't just give him that. And he's like, it'll work. And then it's not going to work. It's one-sided.
All right, the $20, though, he's got to give 5 minutes of a story, Treasy.
Oh, are we still doing
I
that?
know. I thought it was a one time only. It was.
Oh, we're only doing one time? I thought you got extra stories.
You got 5 minutes in you?
You got 5 minutes?
I got another 5 minutes in me. I think so.
All right, I'm going to go to
5
sleep.
minutes.
All right, take a night. Take a nap. So, our man Wally Money, and I know I keep bringing him up, but like just the things that are just funny, and the things that he does are funny, and like what he does is just generally great. Now, Wally drinks Bacardi and Diet. That is what he drinks. That is his drink. Apparently, in Canada, that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And my biggest regret of this entire trip to Canada was I did not document every time Wally Money ordered a drink with his Bacardi and Diet when we were in Canada, because a lot of times they didn't have it. They don't even have Bacardi there. So then he's like, what do you got? And they're like, we got Captain. He's like, dark or light? And they're usually like dark. And he's like, all right, well, give me full Pepsi then, or Coke. He'll be like, give me the Coke. And they're like, well, we don't have Coke. We have Pepsi. And he's like, well, okay, well, give me full Pepsi, because he can't drink, dark rum with like a Diet Cola because it tastes funny to him. So Wally would go up and get his drink, and he would say, I want Bacardi and Diet. We don't have Bacardi. Okay, we have Captain. Okay. And then he'd be like, mix something. They bring it to him. Sometimes it looked just like a Diet and Bacardi, right? It looked brown and whatever. We went to this one bar for breakfast. While he orders it, it was club soda and dark rum poured in there, and it looked like cream soda. And Wally took a sip of it and goes, "Oh, I can't drink this." And I go, "God, it can't be that bad, right?" Like, I'll try it. So I try it. It was that bad. It was fucking horrible. Imagine drinking club soda with rum. It just wasn't good. And then he goes to we go to this next fucking bar or whatever, and every fucking place it was like a different thing. And I was like, that's actually not 5 minutes long of a story. I thought it was longer, so I thought I could carry it through. But anyway, he went, "Keep going, just cut it." "Oh, we're gonna cut it because I can't push it anymore." But it was there was just a lot of different kinds of drinks.
First off, we're giving Yumpers $20 back. That story sucked. And also, let me put this out there, Tracy. Let's see if you agree with me about this. Okay.
Conception was good though.
Wally Money is an interesting character, but almost never the stories that get retold about him. He's interesting in ways that I think are not the ones that get retold about. What do you think?
I think so. I think it's more of a body of work than it is just the story. You got to listen to the whole album. You
got to listen to the whole album. Is my thought.
You can't just take a track.
Yeah,
but you know
correct.
what, Yump, I do feel like I do feel like we shortchanged you a little bit. So I'm going to give you just a little glimpse into the world that we're talking about, just real quick.
There it is.
Put that back up there.
You see my hands?
Look at the blurred
That's
loaf.
it. That's all.
Look at me in the background. I'm showing that he's coming through short, man. He's not coming up with it.
He called like people by the wrong names. Well, listen, he was ossified, okay, and he was still walking around.
Yeah,
so it was. I mean, we got to give him a little bit of a break, but he was calling everybody the wrong name, so much so that this guy Joel, we just called him Joel because that's what he called him one time. He's like Joel, you know what I'm talking about? Shit, and then there was another guy there, Tim. He goes, "Tim, how come you didn't come meet us?" Or was it Rick? He's like, "How come you didn't come meet us when we went to Cincinnati? You live right there." He's like, "Where do you think I live?" And he's like, "Indianapolis or Minneapolis. I don't know." He's like, "What the fuck, Wally?" He just was like, "It's right there. You should be there." And then he just turned around and he's like, and then he just say shit a lot and then thwap me right in the back of the ear about 7 times. So, yeah.
This might be the first podcast I edited in a long time.
All right, next up.
We can't talk about that.
I got a question for you guys.
No, I'm just saying that it's just
too long.
rambling.
I was
trying too hard.
Better.
Yeah. No. You got good stuff, MSS. You just didn't use it. All right, next question is this. If Clint Frazier, and he started last night, he's got a hand cannon, Treasy, he threw it right through Yasmani Grandal. We were cracking up. Hey, the catcher cannot catch the ball that bounced right through him, which was kind of hilarious. But he said, if Clint Frazier starts on a regular basis, do we have any concerns? Or should we make any special preparations for a rare ginger starting as a regular? MSS, you're an expert in this. You're a little fearful of gingers. Lay it on me, baby.
Slightly. One thing that we need to make sure that we do to prepare for his arrival is remind him every 35 minutes to put on sunscreen. Because we don't need him getting sunburned, and he can't be out there, and it could be annoying. And then the healing factor, you get all itchy, and he won't be paying attention. And listen, we finally got a guy that could potentially catch the ball in right field. So we don't need him scratching his back while he's because he's in pain from a sunburn.
Drew, yes, MSS is afraid of your kind. A little bit. He's a little worried about it. That's why, Luke sits behind us, but MSS always sits in a spot where he can side-eye him. He won't sit, in his normal seat because he's afraid of having Luke behind him right there.
I have those reverse sunglasses. So I can see you behind me at all times.
Look. Treasy, what do you think?
Curly-haired fuck.
I tried to research this.
Okay.
I tried to research this, and the only place that you can research something like this, which is Reddit. And I did come across a thread that I thought was interesting. And it was a guy, he said, "I'm trying to get my friend interested in baseball." And he said that he will only watch a team that has a ginger player and is not the Phillies. He is ginger himself. Please help. And the thread ends up being quite helpful to them. And at the time, the guy became a Dodgers fan on the weight of the Justin Turner, Dustin May combo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Nice.
So, I mean, if you go and you start looking at some of the more famous ginger baseball players, you might get a little excited for Clint Frazier, to be honest. There's been some good They're few and far between.
They're few because last night Tim Kirchin,
They brought him up. Yeah.
ESPN broadcast was horrible. I just kept messaging like, "This is so bad. Why are we watching this?" Like, you almost wanted to mute the thing. He tried to go down the path of the best redheaded baseball players, and he got 4 in, and he said Dustin May. I'm like, Dustin May's been in the majors for like 3 years. Like, what are we doing here? There's got to be more than this, So
Was Kimbrel on his list?
Kimbrel was not on his list. No.
Because I believe Kimbrel's a ginger. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he?
I'm not sure.
He's in this list. All right.
Is Mark McGwire in there?
Yeah, Mark McGuire's got to be in there, right?
Yeah, McGuire's got to. He might be.
I looked up to see like
He
the
had dark
best.
hair before.
I looked up the best redheaded athletes, and in the list here is Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris is an athlete? Like, okay, so it says he's got a black belt and whatever the fuck. Look, every person that's on Joe Rogan podcast is not a fucking athlete, okay? I don't care where they got their fucking black belts or blue belts or whatever the fuck they got, okay? That's not athletics. If you don't play a team sport with a ball where you can win a championship, it's not, we're not, it counts, okay? Redhead thing that is what is the best in bocce ball. When the bocce ball guy pops up. Okay, I don't care about that shit. Give me a guy who was actually a good athlete. What the fuck?
Daniel Russo won the All Valley tournament. And they gave him a goddamn trophy. It's a championship, okay?
Now,
Chuck
Bill Walt
Norris
is one of the greatest
actual
redheaded athletes. Chuck Norris is not going to kick my ass. He's 95 years old. He ain't kicking shit right now, okay? Like,
to break a foot off in your ass for real.
God damn it.
His foot will just stay in your ass.
One of the comments I did see in there was that the A's seem to always have a ginger player, and I feel like that might be correct.
Yeah,
and Sean Doolittle was partially that.
Bobby Kelty.
Yeah, Bobby Kelty. So there might be something to this. We're gonna need Luke to get in to do some research for us.
Research his people
and see if there's been a year since the 70s that the Oakland Athletics did not have a ginger, and maybe that's why they're getting moved out of that city.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is. Oh, even my wife's in here will not stand for Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
bro.
Fuck Chuck Norris.
Everyone.
This is my goddamn house. Fuck Chuck Norris. How about that?
Lord.
All right, next question for you guys.
Damn.
And I don't know if this question doesn't apply because I saw an update today, and maybe everything's gonna be okay. I'm still skeptical, but Mike Clevenger left last night's game with an upper arm injury. We'll say it looked like he got his woofers blown. Treasy, it looked really bad. So, what's your preferred method of dealing with this? Okay, 3 choices. 1, shaky Charlotte pitching. Number 2, go out there and sign Madison Bumgarner. Or number 3, let Pedro get creative and cook. Teresa, you got to go first. You got to go first here.
Well, because you painted me into a corner here. Because I as much fun as it would be to say get Bumgarner,
yeah,
like I just don't. I don't think that's the case. And like I think it ends up being Schulten's again, right? I think that's the kind of obvious answer.
Yeah, I think
but
that's
at some
true.
point, like, what are we gonna do about Lance Lynn, right? And at some point, like, someone else might get hurt, and you got nothing after that. You got nothing. Like if Clevenger's out for the season, and then someone else needs even 10 days, you got nothing. And
you got to get White Sox Dave warmed up, or you got to get NWI Steve warmed up. Like this is all we got. This is where we're
who's a guy that's just sitting out there, Beef, that I was like, he's not good, but it's just like, why is this guy still sitting out there? Is Chris Archer.
Yeah,
he is just sitting out there. I looked at that list too, Teresa, because I was like, who is a free agent right now?
Chris Archer is, like, trust me, I'm not saying like, hey, bring him in. It's going to be just like Cueto.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
What if you look at Archer's past couple of years? He's fine for like 4 innings. Like he gets you through the order 1.5, 2 times, and then you got to get him out of there. Like as long as you manage it properly and know what you have, like that seems like a usable piece.
You could get by for a little bit.
With so many teams doing like bullpen games and shit, I'm just like, why? Like, what is happening here? Maybe he's injured. We don't know about it. Maybe he wants a lot of money to be on a roster. Maybe he wants guaranteed major league only. I don't know what it is, but he's seemingly out there. And if we were in a spot where, man, we just need someone to eat some innings, he might be the best guy on the market to go out and get. That's not saying a lot about that's saying more about the market than it's saying about him. But it is a reasonable arm to bring in.
And
for sure.
And there is a some you have some cadence to it because you have a Johnny Cueto story last year who came in and like ripped and like got a contract then. Like he can come in and pitch his ass off and potentially go move on to a better team next year. Who knows? You at least opens up your offers. So like, it's a good opportunity. Do I think that's going to happen? No. And I paused to try to say like let Pedro cook because he didn't have nothing to cook with. Like he's got like some spices and like some 3-day-old ramen and like maybe some beans that aren't cooked. Some lima beans. Like he doesn't have anything there to do. So they're gonna not throw money at the solution because that's just not what they do.
No.
I would say who's the first pitcher that we cut? Because we seem to cut the best talent. So let's just pick the guy that we thought could have made it and just like bring him up and to see what happens.
When I was saying let Pedro cook, I wasn't saying like tonight where Andrew Benintendi's fingers are like Jason Pierre-Paul, so he had to get him out of the lineup, and then he puts Kevin Sheets in but puts him in the exact same fucking spot as Andrew Benintendi because he has no imagination. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, look, couldn't you leverage? You're trying to stretch Crochet out, right?
Right.
Couldn't you leverage like Crochet for 3 innings? Reynaldo Lopez 2 innings, kind of like, and do that, and just pick up a random reliever out of the minors and put them in there in the mix. Okay. So this way you kind of like, okay, that's our start this week, or maybe it's Tanner Banks because Tanner Banks has some length you can do something with, like,
oh yeah, baby. But
girth too.
Can't button a shirt, but he's got some length, baby.
For Crochet, I just don't know if they're comfortable with that.
Yeah,
that's it. Like it seems like they would use him like that if they were comfortable with him, or if he could do it. Like, because at some point, you got to get out of the first inning to pitch 3 innings.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's fair enough. All right, last question. We'll get done with the White Sox stuff. I know the people can't wait. Jake Berger last night. He smashed 2 home runs, led the White Sox to victory. And MSS has been tweeting out about it a lot, and it's something we talked about before the season. We wrote blogs about it. Teresi, I wrote a blog about how they're going to waste him. You and I both wrote blogs about how they can easily get him into the lineup. They chose to send him down to the minors. It really, like, unthinkable stuff. Most White Sox fans are like, he should be here. Is this the biggest roster gaffe since Clifton Pop Herring left Michael Jordan off the Laney High School varsity team? MSSU start.
No, because that fucking move, the Jordan story is complete bullshit. And like, as a schmuck kid, I'm like, my God, a junior Michael Jordan did not play varsity. He had to play down, or he wasn't even on the team. No. Yeah. He was like a freshman or a fucking sophomore. Like, no, that's bullshit. Like, everyone's like, hey, man, I know you didn't make 8th grade team, but Michael Jordan got cut, too. And he's like, the fuck he did? He did not. Like, he just didn't. He was young. They were like, no, man, like, go get some minutes and, like, play your ass off and then come up here and be even better. Like, they could have had a total shit team. He was like, Mike, we don't want to we don't want to, like, make you feel bad to play with these shitheads. Go play with your friends. And then No, that story is not a gaffe. Fuck that. That coach was in the right. It's a bullshit story, and I want my money back for all the goddamn Wheaties I bought under the guy that I was going to be able to make my fucking varsity team if I fucking did that. All right, I've redeemed myself a little bit.
You have redeemed yourself. You have redeemed yourself.
$1.99 of the time back on them Wheaties.
I still owe you $10, Yumper. I'm sorry. I got you $10.
Get a little bit back. Get a little value back. Treasy, what do you think?
A little back.
I mean, it's a miss, but like I don't think it's a tremendous miss to say like this guy who really doesn't have a position is gonna start the year in the minors. Like it's a dumb move, but if I'm placing blame for the dumbness,
yeah,
I'm putting it on Pedro because Hanser's the guy that kept him off the roster,
yep.
And there was no reason for him to be here. Like there was no reason you needed Hanser on this roster. Like there just wasn't. So like, in fact, it probably made more sense, even fielding wise, to have Berger on the team than Hanser when with the opening day lineup that they kept. So
right,
yeah, I'm putting that on Pedro because like I don't think that like Rick Hahn was like, oh, we got to keep Hanser. Like, I don't see that. as the
We
scenario.
need this guy.
Yeah. I think he was like, you want this guy? Okay, we'll get this. He's like almost free. We'll get him. And Pedro's like, gotta have him. I gotta have him.
The only other thing too that is kind of like, did that cut motivate him in a certain way to continue to go on and do what he's doing now? Did it give him the courage just to kind of let go in his head and just go out there and play the game? I don't know necessarily. That's not something you can really judge, right? But like, there could be some motivation there. But like Pedro doubling down on it and going, man, that was the hardest cut I ever had to make in my life. That's fucking stupid. Okay, like it is.
Right.
It is this guy, and it looks really, really bad now because he hit fucking 2 goddamn home runs last night. You know, like, and he's like, what, second on the team in home runs?
Yeah.
And it's like your first baseman of the fucking future is up there, and he's hit like, what, 8? You know, it's just like, come on.
Berger has 15. Luis has 16. So those are the 2 guys with most home runs. We did talk about this, though, before the season on this podcast. We were like, what's Pedro going to be? Is Pedro going to be a traditional manager that wants flexibility or whatever, or a manager that says, give me the best 26 guys, and we're going north with them? And we realized he's a stupid flexibility guy. And hopefully in year 2, he's like, just give me the best players. I'll figure out where they go, because I don't have the confidence in him right now
Everyone's
because
gonna
of
get
these
hurt
things.
every 15 minutes.
That's
anyway.
right, exactly. So get good
There will be
bats in there.
plate
That's
appearances.
it. Like, watching the game last night, and I put a tweet out calling everyone cowards who gave up on that team. Watching the game last night, I had more confidence because we had Luis in the lineup, we had Eloy, we had Berger, and we had Vaughn. We had our 4 best hitters, and they're right there next to each other. And I thought, we could get some runs going with this, because all we need to do is get a little bit lucky with everyone else who isn't hitting at all. And of course, that's what happened. They strung some runs together and hit a couple home runs. It's like, yes, just put these guys in there all the time. Those 4 guys play every day. You mix around with the rest of the shit, but get my good hitters in there, and hopefully they continue doing that.
Mix around with the rest of the shit. The White Sox way.
That's right.
MSS, hook us up.
Oh, shit. God damn it. I thought there was one more. Here we go. You know what's the best? Daily deals at Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. Every day they have something on special, taking care of you, the customer. Every Monday, get a full pound of catfish strips for only $15. On Tuesdays, get a full pound of original large shrimp for $16. Then Wednesday, get a full pound of their lightly breaded shrimp for only $18. And on Thursdays, get a half order of coconut shrimp for only $10. And don't forget, you can make anything a combo for only $5 more. You can't beat that. If you are headed to a game, weekday or weekend, Lawrence's on Canal Street is open 24 hours. So rest assured that even if the game runs late or you come into town early, they are there serving up your faves. With a huge spacious patio, eating outside is always in play. It's a great experience for the whole family. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp have 3 other locations besides Canal Street: 3242 West 87th Street in Chicago, 50 South Manheim Road in Hillside, 3248 Vollmer Road in Olympia Fields. Visit them online at lawrencesfishandshrimp.com to see their menus and place an order. And give them a follow on their Twitter at Lawrence's Shrimp. Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp, Chicago's favorite shrimp house since 1950.
I saw the lightly breaded shrimp, and all I could think is, like, I'd be eating that going, like, I'm so healthy. Like, I went lightly breaded shrimp today.
Now, before we move on, Drew Boggs put in a super chat to get MSS muted. But the problem is we can't mute him right now because he's going to be leading this charge right here for this segment. So, Treasy, should we mute MSS in a future podcast so Drew Boggs gets his money worth?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth 2 mutes because it's $10. So we're gonna
We'll start
mute it
off
twice.
with 10 minutes of
Take it easy, bitch.
Not next week though, because it's just me and MSS. I'm not
Hey,
talking for 10 minutes.
that's up to
straight.
you. That's up
I mean,
to you.
I mean, I could talk to it
minutes.
for 10 minutes straight.
No,
We'll see.
dude,
I'll get a
it's
guest
brutal.
in here.
It's
I'll get a
brutal
guest.
when-
I don't care.
Especially when you think your stories are good and they fucking suck. So, it's not
Speed
good.
was
Bring,
good, though.
bring him on the au jus and just do a 10-minute show where he's just
Bring him on
sitting
this
there.
thing.
He's just sitting there, and you
Man,
do a 10-minute show.
I have good guests coming up. I just got to fill one more spot, and I'm gonna tweet out. I have some really good guests coming up very soon.
Nice.
In the Au Jus.
Yeah. All right, we ready for this?
Let's do it, baby.
Here.
We were both on that one. You
We
ready
are
for
ready
this?
for it.
Or you
Fucking
ready
right.
for that? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for that? Yeah. All right. Famous game. As people know, I sell things on eBay, things that I find at thrift stores, garage sales, in the alley, everything, everywhere. And we have a game where these guys try to pick what is the most expensive item that sold out of the two. And let's go. All right, the first one up. An Indiana Hoosiers cycling jersey. That's one of the, like, what those guys wear when they bike, you know?
Okay.
/Fox HC Racing motocross jersey. So pedal bike versus the dirt bike jerseys. Which one sold for more?
What is the motocross one?
It's Yamaha and Fox Racing.
Okay, Fox Racing. Okay. Who's up first?
Treasy, go first. You can go first.
This is tough because I feel like people are into that Fox Racing. I see that a lot. But I also know that people who went to Indiana are totally insane about the
they're
fact
weirdos.
that they went to Indiana.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that they would pay, like, a couple of them would get into a bidding war with each other, and that one would go for more. So I'm going to go Indiana.
All right. Indiana cycling jersey?
That's tough because that's where mine was, Treasy. But I know nothing about this because, like I said earlier when I was talking about sports, this ain't a real sport. This is recreation. So I'm going to go with the other one. What is it? Yamaha?
Yamaha Fox.
What color is the
motocross
Yamaha
jersey.
Fox?
It was blue.
Yeah, I'm going with the blue
beautiful
one
blue.
because I know the IU one is red, and that looks weird.
It's the crimson, yeah. That crimson,
No.
whatever
I went
weird color.
Yeah, give me Yamaha.
All right, the Indiana Hoosier cycling jersey, $29. The Yamaha Fox motocross jersey, $45.
Baby, big.
Scores first.
Let's get this drink, boys.
All right. What's
Go
up,
boy.
Svo?
Appreciate
Cheers.
you. Just getting caught
Stick
up. he
around there.
says.
Svo, stick around to the end of the show. You're going to see something you want to see. Trust me.
Oh, baby.
All right, number 2. Both these things that sold cement in my head that I should continue to buy weird shit because it does sell. I just got to trust my gut instinct because these two items, if you saw me walking down the street with them, you would be like, why the fuck did you buy that? And they both sold. So this is nuts. A Leinenkugel beer cooler autographed by Jake, John, and Dick Leinenkugel. And it was like a little, like, over-the-shoulder cooler from like a Leinenkugel company outing, autographed
Sounds special.
by the guys from Leinenkugel, versus a 2012 Motley Crue Too Fast for Love black fleece throw blanket that I found at a thrift store. A throw blanket. I did not steal it from Wally Money's house, although he probably owns one.
It was weird, though, because it was stiff. It was hard as a rock.
That's what I was thinking about this throw blanket.
It was like a fucking
Game used.
It was like that. It was like that couch.
What tour is it from?
Where there's like blood on the couch, only used once or whatever. And it's,
or that big stain.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Hang on a second. I want to know how the Leinenkugel sign thing ended up in some thrift store that you traverse. Like, what? How did that happen?
On the south side of Chicago. Now here's
Someone got that and they're like, fuck, I don't want this anymore. And just left it there at the thrift store.
Like a
Give me a break,
outing.
man. That's fake.
I don't
That's
want to
fake.
remember my time in Chippewa Falls.
So, Treasy,
I'm upset about it.
this is the funniest part about the whole fucking thing. It sells to a woman who lives in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
Oh, my goodness.
It returned to
my
its
goodness.
home. I'm assuming it's going back in the museum somewhere. I don't know.
Went back to the family.
I was like, and she did what these classic fucking eBayers do sometimes. She goes, when it arrived, the box was damaged, and luckily the cooler was okay. And I want to be like, bitch, I ain't the post office. I did not deliver.
Yeah, what
this
do you
shit.
need to know that
I
for?
fucking put it in a box and gave it to the post people, and they're supposed to fucking ensure that it gets there. Now, mind you, it's a fucking priority package. So if it was fucked up, you could have went and said, listen, you fucked my shit up. Give me back my money. Okay? That's how it works. That's what insurance is for. So, sorry. Side rant over. Leinenkugel beer cooler versus autographed by Jake, John, and Dick. Versus the 2012 Motley Crue Too Fast for Love black fleece throw blanket. Loaf, you are up first.
Man, I gotta go Motley Crue. The Leinenkugel thing is so weird, and like I feel like there's such a limited market for that. Like, who cares about that? Like, no one's buying that. Whereas Motley Crue, a lot of people would want to have a blanket, especially if it's tour used. I feel like if you can prove Tommy Lee was in that thing with his thing, then you got some money right there.
It was Mick Mars. It was Mick Mars, though.
Yeah, I don't like the mustache.
Still good.
Still used.
Still good.
I'm going throw blanket.
I got to go with you on this one. I got to go with you on the Motley Crue because like the Leinenkugels thing is just too specific.
So
it's too like I'm gonna go with Motley Crue.
I only paid $3 for it, so that's why I took the risk. I was like, "Fuck it, well, it's $3. If it's bad, then I throw it away." Leinenkugel beer autograph cooler, $25. The Motley Crue Too Fast for Love fleece throw blanket, $49.99.
$50 for a throw blanket.
I was insane. I was like,
Ken W.O. enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I don't know where that one went. I don't remember exactly where I shipped that, but it was not Tinley Park.
Well, you don't want to dox them, so obviously.
Right, that's true. All right, we're moving into some of the baseball stuff here. Blake Rutherford, a Pulaski Yankees bobblehead, autographed, verse a Cincinnati Reds Star Wars Mandalorian themed bobblehead. Treasy, you're first.
So I have a range of where the Mandalorian one was. So I think that's a reasonable one to take. But I gotta, just like every trade I made that one year, I gotta put Blake Rutherford in this one. So I'm gonna go with that.
Gonna go with Blake. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? You really screwed me here, Treasy, because I thought you're going Mandalorian for sure, and I thought this feels like such a trap. Because who the hell wants Blake Rutherford anything, even if it's autographed? Who gives a shit about this? But you picked it then. So now I got to go with the obvious thing. I got to go with the Mandalorian, because I know that's got a baseline price. Like the Blake Rutherford thing might be totally worthless, or someone bought it for like $200, and I'm going to be so upset. But I'm going Mandalorian just because it just seems too obvious. I was going to be the contrarian, but fuck you for being it first. So, Mandalorian.
All right. Folks, we have a tie game. Blake Rutherford, worth much more in bobblehead form than he is in an actual MLB player. $55 versus the Cincinnati Reds Star Wars Mandalorian-themed bobblehead, $49.99.
You son of a bitch. I'm so mad about this, right? Especially Star Wars shit, and you pick Blake Rutherford over it.
Yeah, he's playing with his mind, not with his dick. All right. Let's continue with the Cincinnati theme stuff. Stuff I sold in the back of Treasy's car coming home from Cincinnati, coincidentally enough. Cincinnati Reds, SGA, which means Stadium Giveaway, Funko Pop Johnny Bench, verse an NHL Funko Pop of Henrik Lundqvist from the New York Rangers.
All right, so I'm going to go with Lundqvist because he's a incredibly famous goalie, someone who's like a Hall of Fame caliber player. Okay. And the Cincy thing is just like, well, I mean, Bench is good and everything, but this feels like they probably do Johnny Bench shit all the time. Okay. And I'm not sure in hockey if they do the same. It feels rare, so I'm going to go with Lundqvist.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to agree because there was like, I felt like there was just like a billion of those at the game, and like everybody who wanted one would have got one. And that, I don't know that it's that popular outside of Cincy, so I'm gonna go with and plus I know you sold like 40 of them, so I don't think that they sold
I did not.
Much.
If you assholes would have got more, I would have sold more. So okay, so you guys are both going with Lundqvist. The Cincinnati Reds Funko Pop Johnny Bench, $35. The Henrik Lundqvist, $14.99.
Oof.
So the Johnny Bench, actually, our friend of the program, Scheiberg, said that if you were on the other side of the stadium than we were, there was lines out to Kentucky. And a lot of people did not get them, and they sold very quickly.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I sold a bunch of them, like, right out in the car. It was fun. So, no one points. It's still 1-1. All right. Up next, let's go to the White Sox stuff. A Yoan Moncada signed official Major League Baseball with an MLB hologram, which means it's authenticated by the MLB, versus a Chicago White Sox tag team autograph poster, also authenticated by the MLB. Which I didn't even know these things existed.
Wait, tag team like the
yes, like
the group,
the rap group. Remember when they
from
threw
that
out
one
the
game
first
they were
pitch?
there? Yeah.
Yes. They made a poster for them. They signed it, and then the MLB authenticated it, and then it ended up in my possession because somebody's selling all their stuff. So we got a Moncada signed ball, or we have a tag team autograph poster.
I want it to be the tag team, but it's got to be the Moncada. I'm gonna go Moncada.
Is it you first or is it him first?
No, it's Treasy first because
It's
I went
Treasy
first.
first?
I'm the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Treasy first.
So
you know what?
I'm gonna go Moncada.
You know what? I have to go with tag team. It's tag team. Like, who the hell even has that thing? That thing has got to be so rare. And tag team was huge for a while, so there's a lot of people our age that would be interested in that. So I'm going to go tag team.
And the guy wrote sprinkles on there, which was pretty funny too. He wrote sprinkles. Yeah, sprinkles. The Moncada signed ball, $49.99. The tag team autograph poster was $24.99. Teresi, you're in the lead, 2-1.
Fuck.
Plus, Luis
I'm
Robert
sorry.
just hit a home run.
Yeah.
So.
I saw all this stuff. I was like, okay, this is awesome. Good thing he wasn't cut at the beginning of the year. All right, moving on. Hats, a vintage Serac cycling bicycle hat. The hats that like Spike Lee would wear, where you flipped it up and said Brooklyn. It's like that. American colors, red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Bicycle hat versus a Chicago White Sox 312 Goose Island giveaway hat. So you all know those that they gave away. This had the big block 312.
Yeah, I've got one of those at home.
A vintage cycling hat from, just vintage. I don't know when from. I think it's the 80s.
I'm going to go with the cycling hat. I am not going to go with the Goose Island. I think the cycling hat's got more interest.
All right. Chorizo?
Yeah, I feel like everyone has one of those 312 hats. So, like, I'm going to say the cycling hat is to the same guy that bought the Indiana cycling shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
And he paid a lot for it.
Nice. Vintage Serac bicycling hat, $29.99. The White Sox 312 Goose Island hat, $27.50. So, still made on that one, too. So, we're still up. Teresi's still up 2-1. All right. Stick with the hat theme. A vintage 90s Primus Seas of Cheese Tour snapback hat. It had the little bug guy on the front. And then above the back, it was my hat. Above the, the thing, it had Primus. You know how they used to embroider, like, above the thing. So it said Primus there. Versus a brand new inbox ZT11 cruise control module that you put in your car. It's aftermarket cruise control. So before, you could get cruise control as a standard feature in your car.
This is confusing.
They sold kits that you would drill into the floor of your car and attach this thing to God knows whatever. Okay? And then there was a little button thing that you would just push when you hit this where you were wanting to go. You would push it. It would just hold your accelerator there for you. It was an aftermarket thing. I found this thing at a thrift store, brand new in box with all of the instructions.
Mrs. Beef says, sounds safe.
Yeah, from like 1980s, right? So
how do you undo it?
You would just hit the button and it said stop or whatever. I guess I don't know. Like I was like, hey. It's brand new in box. Let's just take a chance. So we got the Primus hat from the 90s or from the 80s, cruise control, aftermarket cruise control module.
I'm going to go with the Primus hat. I just want to believe that no one's paying for that death kit that you were selling.
Yeah, no, that's what I want. I want the cruise control. There's no, because a Primus hat's cool and everything, and I'm sure there's Primus fans or whatever, but like that weird shit, like, and especially it's a car attachment. Someone has like been looking for that shit for so long, and they've been flipping through the car magazines and they've never found it, and then your dumbass has it up there on eBay and they couldn't wait to buy it. So like, yes, I think it's that one.
So when I looked it up at the store, the most recent one it sold for like $90, and I was like, all right, that's a good come up. It was like $15, and I go, that's a good come up from that. And plus, I'm just like, whatever. I'll just list it for a little bit higher. So the Primus hat, $125, sold very quickly internationally and went overseas.
Wow.
The ZT11 cruise control from 1980, brand new in box, sold in like 2 days for $165.
Damn it.
Yes.
I was
What
like,
a weird thing to
and
sell.
that went overseas too. So like, whatever the fuck is going on here, I don't know. But it's one of those things where you see something that you've never seen before, and then I'm also like, it's brand new in box. I'm like, fuck it. We're
It's easy to read that. Read that.
The comment from Andy. This is a callback to the last time we did this.
It's true.
Same person who bought the cruise control bought the minivan LeBra.
A Toyota Sienna. I brought that up at the bachelor party this weekend too. The guy's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I sell stuff on eBay." And he was like, "Oh yeah, like what?" And I go, "Well, a lot of sports memorabilia stuff and sports stuff, but I've also sold a LeBra for a fucking minivan." And he's like, "Do you remember LeBras?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And I was like, "Yeah, I just sold one. I paid $5. Well, I paid $95 and sold it for $100. If the IRS is listening." So, all right, we're tied up 2-2. Moving on. A Chicago White Sox, Avi Garcia baseball jersey versus a Chicago White Sox Fighting Illini night jersey that they give away with a special ticket. So Avi Garcia jersey versus an Fighting Illini night jersey.
So Avi Garcia jersey, nothing special, not getting
Nothing
used,
special.
none of that. Just
a regular replica,
standard replica, or the giveaway. Well, special ticket giveaway.
Special ticket giveaway.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an
Illini
Illini jersey. I think that's the better choice there.
Yeah, I would think the Illini went for 5 times what the Avi jersey went for.
You guys are catching on to this game. The Avi Garcia jersey, $25. The U of I night, $65. No points. You both took the Illini jersey. All right. Next up, let's go to the 80s. A 1988 Pepsi Cola Pepsi Tix Armatron watch, brand new in box, old stock as they call it, versus a 1980 Morro Bay Earth Graphic tank top. Morro Bay was like a surf brand back in the day. Not extremely popular, but also not that unknown, I'll say. It's not like Varney or like the good stuff. It was like, hey.
It's the okay stuff.
It's the step above Kmart. Yeah.
Step above Kmart.
So you got a Pepsi watch, brand new in box, or a Morro Bay Earth Graphic tank top.
You really undersold the Earth Graphic tank
He's
top.
baiting us, right?
So I feel like it's I'm gonna take the tank top.
Okay.
That's also the feeling I got. Like the tank top's got to be the thing. Who Pepsi watch? Who gives a fuck? No one even likes Pepsi to begin with. I mean, I do. There's a few people. I think
Pepsi.
I think Svo likes Pepsi, but there's a couple of us that like
to
Pepsi.
fucking buy restaurants so that they could sell.
I remember
Pepsi.
this. Yeah, so people don't even really like Pepsi that much. It's going to be the tank top, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was getting lost in my own mind there. Pepsi watch, $14.99. The Morro Bay tank top, $4.99. Yeah, no. Sorry.
What did you tell the IRS you spent on that tank top? $40.
Yeah, $6. Did you guys both take the fucking tank top?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
No,
yeah.
you guys are fucking idiots.
You're the one that bought it and took a loss on it.
Brian, I mentioned Svo, and I also love Pepsi as well, but there's not a lot of us. I think we're in the minority out here. We're in the minority, Svo. I'm sorry. Like not everyone likes Pepsi. We do, but not everyone likes it. You know.
I thought you loved Mountain Dews.
Cherry RC for
Me?
life,
baby.
No, I don't drink.
No, not you. Svo.
Pepsi, I
loves
really
Mountain Dew.
enjoy. Like
Svo's got like 900 different kinds of Mountain Dew that he like has around him. It's like it's just a lot.
kind of likes caffeine. So what?
Moving on. No shit. No, I do too. Moving on. A brand new Carhartt water bottle by Liberty Bottle Works. It's their 125th anniversary edition water bottle.
Bottlehead.
Yeah. Given, I mean,
Water
I don't know.
bobblehead.
It says Carhartt on it.
That's it. I'm leaving.
All right, I'm out. You guys finish it up. Yeah. Carhartt water bottle versus a new 16-ounce Tervis tumbler. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Margaritaville style. You know, like one of those Jimmy Buffett ones, like a little Tervis, but only
Is
16
it Jimmy
ounces.
Buffett though? Is there a Margaritaville?
Yeah.
It says
it's
Margaritaville.
Yeah,
Okay.
legit like the restaurant.
That's a good,
So the Margaritaville tumbler by Tervis, which is the fancy ones, like when you go to Bed Bath & Beyond, those are the nice ones. the double wall insulated, ones. But also we're going up against a brand new Carhartt 125th anniversary water bottle by some American bottle making company, Liberty Bottle Works.
I think I'm up.
You're up beef. Yeah. I'm going to go opposite of whatever you say.
I'm going Carhartt. I just feel like Carhartt's more dependable brand. People love Carhartt, so I'm going to go with that, even though it's a water bottle. Like, who cares? But also, some people really want to fill out their Carhartt ensemble. Like, they got the jacket, they got the shirts and pants and all this stuff. I'm going to go with the water bottle.
I'm going to go Margaritaville because people inexplicably love Jimmy Buffett.
They do. I found the Jimmy Buffett stuff. Apparently, one of the Margaritaville stores closed, and they donated all their stuff to the vets. Because I found tons of shirts, tons of stuff. The Tervis, water or tumbler sold for $4.99. The Carhartt water bottle I bought at a thrift store for $2 with my nephew, and I said, "Watch this. We're gonna make a bunch of money on this." Sold for $35. So
Jesus.
Yeah, the Carhartt water bottle was the right call. USA made, metal. It's very nice, very nice. I almost kept it, but then I was like, I have 17,000 water bottles in this house. I do not need more water bottles, so we sold it. All right, we're moving back on to some baseball stuff. A rare, and I know Uncle Mick or Slim Mick loves it when I say rare. A rare Chicago Cubs bucket hat that was sponsored by Miller Lite. Versus two vintage Chicago White Sox dad hats. You know, the ones with like the straps in the back, like that come down, they are
it's not a snapback. It's like
it's not a snapback.
Like a strap,
it's like a Velcro or a strap. They call those dad hats. We have the 50s logo, the Go-Go Sox, and we have the 70s logo, both made by Miller Lite. So two vintage Sox hats, the 50s and 70s logos, versus a Chicago Cubs bucket hat that has. And I think you're first, Treasy.
I'm gonna go
Miller Lite on it.
I'm gonna go with the bucket hat because the Cubs plus Miller Lite is a rare combination. I would think. So I'm gonna say that. And those dad hats suck.
I can't even envision that fucking dad hat. I was thinking the same thing as you, Treasy. I hate to copycat you, but I'm going to go the Cubs Miller Lite bucket hat, too, because it sounds so rare. It sounds like, and if you're a South Side Cubs guy, like, that's your hat. That's the hat you've been dying to get your hands on. So, like, I think that's it.
I agree. I mean, you would think that the Miller Lite hat would sell more.
Here it is.
The rare Chicago Cubs bucket hat with Miller Lite, $25. The two vintage Chicago White Sox dad caps, $29.99.
So it's a narrow loss.
But $4.99. Those two.
We're doing terrible tonight.
Those
we are.
We're doing off my game.
Those two hats were actually purchased from your guy's cousin Tommy in his garage sale, which I flipped. Okay, this is a weird one. You get ready for a weird one. This one actually just sold. Both just sold. A St. Benedictine University game used football jersey. Okay. Like a football jersey from St. Benedictine versus a How to Draw MAGA book or manga. Manga? Is it manga?
Manga.
Anime. You know that shit. Anime.
How to draw orange Donald Trump is what I thought.
That's what I thought that's where you're going. I was like, oh boy,
he's drawing everywhere. I don't
manga.
know. How to.
Yeah, how to draw manga books. 7 books total. Like you go to the art store and they be like, hey, this is how you draw. Manga and anime and that kind of stuff. So I've got 7 books versus a game used St. Benedictine University football jersey.
Man, I mean, like, manga's way more popular than St. Benedictine. I didn't even know St. Benedictine had football. I don't even. Why does some of these really small? It always.
I don't even know what level of school that is.
I was gonna say, Tracy, it weirds me out when like there's a college and I don't know what division they're in, and they've got football for some reason. Like, have the sport where everyone can scramble their brains. Like, you got usually you want to have a bankroll behind that if you're gonna do that thing, or
when I said level,
money. Like,
when I said level, I meant like college, high school, or grade school. I did.
It's very bizarre.
No
like,
idea.
I don't understand that. Like, I get like big Division I football because like. Yeah, some people are going to get all messed up, but you make a lot of money. Division 2 or 3, like, flag football. How about that for you guys? So I'm going to go with the manga, the drawing kit. Like that, I think that's, at least that's what I would buy. The other football jersey, unless it's like a tweeter or a Billy Bob football jersey, I'm not buying.
See, Beef, here's where you messed up.
Okay.
Because MSS is about to tell us that he always buys these St. Benedictine jerseys whenever he sees them because he's got a guy that always buys them and pays $1 million.
Trying to get the whole team.
Guy pays $1 million for him, like the Gary Railcats or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he used to get.
Guy's got real dolls all set up, and he needs his entire offensive line covered with the Benedictine jerseys. Like that's what he's got going.
Football players.
MSS has all kinds of weird deals we don't know about, Treasy. Like he never cuts us in either. This 108 shit is like off on an island. We don't get cut in on this fun stuff.
We just hear about it here.
So you're going with the jersey, Tracy?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, so you were kind of half correct. I do have a guy that buys a lot of Illinois college football jerseys.
I'm leaving. Bye.
It's mostly North Central though. Like they North Central jerseys go for big money. And they've won Division III football like a couple times. So like they're pretty big in that area. So I definitely buy North Central stuff. And they used to piss White Sox Dave off when I'd send him a picture. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, what is wrong with my school? Why don't people want their shit? So anyway, the St. Benedictine game used football jersey, $75. The How to Draw manga books.
You say MAGA.
All right,
Just
manga
say
books.
I screwed up.
$69.99.
It was closer than I thought. The fact that he cannot say the word, I should have known it was not a big moneymaker. If it made a ton of money, he would memorize that shit. So I screwed that up, Teresi. That's why you were able to tie it up.
It was actually
happy with that.
It was actually a book on how to draw marinara. But he didn't want to get into it.
It's not to pronounce it. He said MAGA 11 times when it's manga, and I screwed up. I should have figured that out. So.
My bad.
Tie game again. God.
Yes, tied up 3-3. Going into the final 2 questions. Well, that's stupid.
It was how to draw mangoes. That's the winner. $1,200.
How did I only got 2 questions? I got 2 questions left.
All right.
You guys, I guess that's
We've missed so many.
I know.
MSS. That's what it is. We've been so bad.
All right.
It's like 3-3, and you've asked 38 questions right now.
Okay, we have these 2 aren't really related. I was struggling at the end of here. All right, so I have an MLB. They just did this for Lou Gehrig Day. The 4 ALS embroidered red wristbands. They have the wristbands. It's for the Lou Gehrig Day, and they are donating money, and the players wear a shit for ALS. Versus an original 6 NHL team's hat, which includes Boston, New York, Chicago, Toronto, and Detroit, and Montreal. It was like a flex fit cap, brand new with tags. So we got the embroidered red wristbands versus a brand new original 6 NHL hockey hat.
I think I'm up because B fucked up the last one.
Yeah, I screwed up the last one.
I'm going to fuck this one up.
Okay.
So I'm going to guess it's the hat. I think like hockey fans are nuts. Mm-hmm. So like I think that they would like something like that, especially brand new, they'd be down with. I don't know how rare that is. That might just be like something that's at Walmart, so maybe it sucks, but like I'm gonna go with that one.
It's interesting. I thought that originally, Treasy. I thought, original 6, because hockey fans are insane, right? But the original 6 teams fucking hate each other's guts. They can't stand the other original 6 teams, right?
So you wouldn't want that on your head.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they don't want it. They don't want the other ones on there. They want to be part of it, but they're like,
yeah,
I hate the Canadians or whatever. I hate the Red Wings or whatever.
I was thinking it was like a guy like Rob Lowe that would wear an NFL hat.
That's right. He's got the entire league on it. So I'm going to go with the Lou Gehrig wristbands because I think, MLB is a little more, okay, we're a community, and then especially for something like this is terrible. And so I think people would throw more money at that. So I'm going to go with the Lou Gehrig wristbands.
All right. The ALS embroidered red wristbands. $25. The original 6 NHL teams, $39.99.
Son of a...
takes a lead.
Love it. Goodness. I can't believe it.
It's
Fuck,
4
Did Rob
to
Lowe buy
3.
it though?
No,
You don't have to give me his address. You don't have to give me his address. I just want to know if it was him.
Just tell the
We've
truth.
talked about this. Like I sold something to Ty Pennington. Is it the guy that like does like home improvement stuff like in Florida?
Oh,
I
yeah,
sold him
yeah.
something once. A Chief shirt actually, a Chief Illini Weck shirt. I sold to him. I don't know. It's very odd.
Of course
and
you
then
did.
I sold something to Will Leach. Is it Leach or Lech?
Yeah. Will Leach,
from
yeah.
Deadspin.
Yeah.
And I wrote him a note, and I was like, "Hey, this is weird, but I really appreciate what you did with Deadspin. I really liked it." And I had a video blow up from Deadspin, and like you taking this thing, and now I do this, and he sent a restraining order, and it was fine. It's no big deal. All right, this is the last one. Loaf, you need it to tie.
I do.
Treasy, you need it to win. We have a
Treasy's
rare,
first at least, right?
Treasy is first.
I can go Oppo.
a rare Patrick Kane Chicago Blackhawks Foundation bobblehead, their charity bobblehead with Patrick Kane, versus a Chicago White Sox retail Joe Creedy World Series bobblehead from 2005.
See, the Kane being from like their charity thing feels like that might have been like a limited run kind of little thing, but everything 2005 World Series is always expensive. So I'm gonna go with the Creedy. I'm gonna go with the Creedy.
I'm glad you left this open because Patrick Kane is the best Blackhawks player ever. Not that guy who used to beat up his wife that everyone used to like. It's Kaner, okay? Yeah, exactly.
Just he's dead.
Beat up
man.
cab drivers.
It's
That's
Kaner.
not- that's fine.
He beat up a cab driver. Who hasn't? Okay, like it's gonna be Kaner. It's MVP, 3 cups. So I'm glad to be on this side of the bet. One time, let's go, MSS.
Congratulations, Treasy. You have beaten your brother. The Patrick Kane bobblehead sold for $101. The Chicago White Sox Joe Creedy World Series bobblehead sold for, shockingly, $185. So,
Damn.
Treasy wins 5-3, and that's this or that.
Damn it, man. It's been a while since you beat me, Treasy. I won the last couple. Fuck.
Yeah, you guys, that was pathetic showing by you guys. Just gonna say it.
Well, guys,
I'm sorry.
Say it's-
there is a game going on, and we got to get
Yeah, we
out of here
gotta
pretty
hustle
soon. So I
through
want
this.
to do thank yous. So, or GFYs. Beef,
Beautiful.
you're up first. Who are you thinking?
I love it. I'm thanking our wives for doing an absolutely hilarious
Yes.
version of the Sunday Soak. And I'm not just like pumping their tires. I literally came down in the basement to watch it by myself because I didn't want to be influenced about anything. And I was laughing my ass off. I appreciate Mrs. Beef coaching up the crowd so that Mama Summer told White Sox Sal to go fuck himself. Like, I had enough elements of the way
Yep.
we do it to like make it seem like the Soak, but they did so many different things that were hilarious and fun and awesome. And my only critique is there were a couple questions that could have gotten more dicey if they would have chosen them. I respect their choice of not choosing them. It's your decision. It's your artistic decision. And we're animals, and we choose to answer all the most crazy shit. But ladies, you did a tremendous job. It's making me rethink why we even do it because you did such a good job with it.
I'll double down on that, and I want to thank them as well. I will ask that next time you do a question on fast food that maybe you mention one of our sponsors in there.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, overall, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. MSS, who are you thinking?
I'm going to thank our good friends over at the White Sox. They gave me something today. They wanted me to share it with you guys. And the best part about it is that it hasn't been released yet, and they gave us a couple to give away to you, our fans. So we have a giveaway central where you go in and you subscribe to our YouTube, you go do whatever the fuck. What else do we got to do, Treasy? There's a couple things that you can do, right?
There's a whole bunch of things you could do to add more entries.
Yeah, just go to the website,
Just
and click
click
through it,
all
and give
the
you
shit.
a bunch of
It's
things
not
you
up
can
yet.
do.
It's not up yet because I didn't know
but
about this.
This is going to come up, though. Of course. Coming up Sunday, June 25th, it's Indiana Jones Day, and they're giving away an Indiana Vaughn bobblehead. Okay? So the first 1,500 people that purchase the tickets for this day will get this bobblehead. And let's open this bitch up and see what it looks like.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my god!
The unboxing.
I did this. The boxing
Vaughn-
is really cool.
Vaughn is Indy is just gonna.
I mean,
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous to be totally honest.
Was Han Solo that short? That's what I wonder. Treasy, don't kill me here. I thought Han Solo was 6'2".
I thought he was taller.
Yeah.
I thought he was taller.
Goodness.
Maybe Luke's just really short.
This is insane.
Could be.
All right, so I've never seen the movie, so I'm assuming
The worst. Watch it tonight.
this is like, okay, so there's the base. There's this huge thing that's the size of a baseball. So, like, and it says Indiana.
It looks like it
Vaughn
has a
on it.
baseball in there.
Yeah. I mean, it looks
It's the
just
size
like
of a baseball.
baseball.
But it
size
is a
of a
baseball.
baseball. It's a baseball.
It says Indiana Vaughn. And now, this is obviously 100% true to
Allegedly.
size version of Andrew Vaughn here. Hold on. Look at this guy. Look at this little man. Look at that little guy.
Oh, my
God.
goodness.
He is
Okay.
little. Look at his face.
So MSS.
Look at those eyes just piercing at you. It's like, I'm gonna get you.
MSS, put
gonna
it on
get
the
you,
stand
Teresi.
because. So what this is it because you've never seen the movie, which is fucking unbelievable.
I know.
There's a scene, and you've probably actually seen this scene because it's been played. It's in UHF too. There's a
I have
there's
seen
a
UHF.
the boulder that's rolling towards him. That's in both UHF and Indiana Jones. The baseball is the boulder in this situation.
Okay. Well, I dropped the wing nut. Now, here he is.
Of course.
Here he is running away. He's like, get the fuck out of here, boy.
That's a good looking bobble, actually.
That is
really
excellent.
cool.
That is
This
actually
looks.
excellent.
I'm gonna say it. It looks a lot cooler than it did when they fucking released a picture, because they released a picture of
They
it
only
just like
released a picture
this
of him. Yeah.
Yeah, and like this is actually much better. It's very cool, and like I said, it's like half size of Andrew Vaughn, actual size. So very nice. So yeah, you can pick those tickets up if you go onto their thing on their website. Sunday, June 25th. So that's coming up next weekend homestand. Might as well go get an Indiana Vaughn bobblehead. I will post the link in a blog. So thank you, White Sox.
Awesome. Well, that does it for us tonight. Awesome, awesome time, fellas. Awesome time in Canada, and I can't wait to see you guys when I get back from my next vacation, because that's all I'm going to do now. Is go on vacations.
I love it.
So
You've earned it.
we need a Sox winner tonight, guys. Let's go get
Hell
that.
yeah. Go
Yes, we do. Let's win this series, baby. Peace.